are you?
That's
Happy
so funny.
birthday.
Everything is good. I'm getting used to this electronic stuff, man.
It's
Just,
good. You're getting used to it. Don't worry. It's not that bad.
This social media thing is driving me
No, it's
a
all
little crazy.
technology, and you should be thankful. You should thank God. We all should for the technology. Hi guys. Hi everyone. So
What's up, guys?
I'm gonna let you start. But one thing before we start, if there's any question, guys, just ask, and then I will jump in between and answer questions. And then I have also 3 or 4 questions that was actually texted to me. So because there are people who actually watch this later. So, and then at the end, I will address those questions too. So let's just start. You go first.
Okay. Well, in order for me to start, I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know the difference between, because we're discussing about morning routine, correct? So the difference for me to explain it in a way, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. Let me break it down to you between conscious and unconscious mind. So the unconscious, it runs the entire body. 90% of what the body does, the unconscious mind is in charge of it. So only 10% are conscious. So exactly. There are so many roles. There are so many roles of the unconscious mind that, like all the topic that we have discussed weekly so far, everything happened at the unconscious level mind.
Exactly.
Okay. And I'll just state a few things that the unconscious mind does for the body. For example, number 1, it stores memories, organizes all your memories. It runs the body, protects the body, preserves the body. It takes everything personal, like perception versus projection.
Exactly.
And it does not take it does not process negative very well. So all that to share with you why I do my morning routine, because I value my unconscious mind, because I think it's very important. Now, whether you believe in religious, I'm not talking about that. I know when you wake up, you got to thank God, you got to do all that stuff. But remember that we are part of God, so therefore, we have a lot of tools that we can use for ourselves to help ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So one of the things I like to say when I wake up in the morning, before I get into that, the way I like to describe the unconscious mind, I describe it as a file cabinet. Okay, so a file cabinet. So the conscious mind present new information to the unconscious mind, right? And the unconscious mind store the information in such a way so whenever the conscious mind needs the information, the unconscious mind presents it to the conscious mind in such a way. For example, when you wake up in the morning, how did you remember to be you? How do you know how to remember to be you?
Exactly.
So your unconscious mind tells you, hey, listen, hello, you are Dickens today. You're not Joe, okay? So you wake up. So a lot of time you hear people say they don't trust their instinct. They don't trust the unconscious mind. And unfortunately, people treat their unconscious mind worse than a dog. And your unconscious mind is where everything happens. So when you learn something new at the conscious level, and it takes it put it back into the unconscious mind. And so whenever you need that information, you take it back. So everything that you need, all your accomplishment, everything that you need happens at the unconscious level. So what I'm trying to say that in the morning for me, when I wake up, I have to take a few minutes to communicate with my unconscious mind, because who do you trust to put you to sleep at night every time you go to sleep, right? It's your unconscious mind, because you're not conscious when you're sleeping. You're totally knocked out.
So how do you do that? I totally understand. How do you talk to yourself? How do you communicate from your conscious to your unconscious?
I'm getting there. So the unconscious mind control everything.
Exactly.
Right? So what I'm saying to you, the reason why it's important to do that, because it's a way to give me access to allow me to control all my emotions. So when I wake up in the morning, first thing I said, dear unconscious mind, you know the difference between the suggestions that are good for me and those that are not. Only accept suggestions that are good for me only. Because your unconscious mind is just open, it just takes up in and out, right? So I always I thank my conscious mind, thank you for running that body for me while I was asleep. And thank you for allowing my conscious mind to be aware, to remind me, hey, listen, you are the same guy. You're not someone else. You understand what I'm saying? And I also, it takes me, and I like to do that. It takes a lot of practice, to be honest with you. And I've tried it many times. And when I get up, I go back into my office right there. And the first thing that's pop up, I go on my phone, I go on my computer, and I don't do it. So I find that the best way to do that is do it right while I'm laying in bed. And I took my time to communicate with myself and thank myself, thank my unconscious mind for allowing me to be me and for running this body for me, because everything happens at the unconscious level. Everything you can think of, and only 10% only that we do that are conscious. Think about when you drive in a car, right? You could be going to the gym all the time, you go there all the time, and then someday you're like, well, how did I get there so fast? You don't remember.
The thing
Because
is,
your unconscious mind takes over.
Exactly. There's one thing that what you're talking about that is really, even from neurology standpoint, is science. Your body becomes the mind. That's what happens.
Right.
You're so we are so used to muscle memory in everything, so your body, instead of your mind being the master, it switches. Your body become the master and it goes on autopilot, right? And for years we repeat the same day for years, over and over and over and over again, without even knowing. So that's one of the things that I think you're saying. I just want, because it's the thing that you're saying, totally true and very technical. But that's one thing we do without even knowing. That's why we drive somewhere without even knowing that we did it, right?
Exactly.
It's because your body becomes the mind and you don't even know it. And everything happens to unconscious, and your unconscious should know everything. That's why you communicate from your conscious to unconscious. So, but because that's your job, or I do the same, because this is our job. I made transformation my job because I wanted to find out all the cracks in my foundation, not just because I know that this is a business for us, right? But for me, it was all about me, and it still is, to find where are the cracks and fix it.
Right. So it's very important, because to learn to communicate with your unconscious mind on a day-to-day level, because like I said, people treat that worse than a dog. They don't. When you think about when you're taking the multiple choice test or a test, and the first answer that pop up to your head, you ignore it. But your unconscious mind is telling you, no, this wasn't the right answer.
Exactly.
But you're not. Or if you happen to get into a car accident, the first thing your unconscious mind does is to protect the body. That's why I said I gave you a list of things that the unconscious mind does. 90% of what it does is to preserve the body, and runs the body, and store memories and store everything. So for me, I look at it as more of a file cabinet. That whenever you learn something new at the conscious level,
exactly,
it takes it and store and file it into at the unconscious. So for me, the way I meditate in the morning, I do it right in the bed, and really, thank it for doing what it's done for me, for preserve the body, protect it, and allow me to wake up, and so that I remember that, oh, okay, I am me today. I'm not someone else, And then another reason why I do that in the morning is, and I find that this is so true. I'm telling you, when I want to be on my A game, when I talk to myself, to my unconscious mind, and I say, okay, today I'm going to have an amazing day. I want you to be in charge. I want you to be a mouthpiece for me. So whatever comes out of my head, I'm going to trust that, even if it comes out the wrong way. So it is what it is, because I know your job is to protect me. You know what's good for me. You know what I want, and you know that I want the same thing. So I'm going to trust you.
You and let me tell you, highest power in your life. That's how it is.
And I've seen it. I've seen the pattern when I go on a business trip, business meeting, or talking to people, or trying to sell things, or whatever I'm doing. I let my unconscious mind take charge. But I do this mostly in the morning. If I'm gonna have every day, but if I'm gonna have something special to do, I let it take charge 100% because I know it's not gonna fail me, and that's why I strongly um, recommend that people understand how important it is to understand how the unconscious mind runs. And if anybody wants me to type up a list of the things that your unconscious mind is in charge, I'm more likely to do that for you, so that way you understand all the stuff that it does. It's important, Yeah, and then after that, I focus on exercise. If I have to do cardio, then but because this is more important to focus first, and then after that, I would just take care of my day. I don't know, what about you?
Do you have a like a travel size morning routine, or you just do it like normal? It's just like, or do you add stuff to your morning routine, or no? It's just like one thing that you always do.
Yeah, no. First, I condition myself with one thing, and if there's something else I need to do,
Thank you.
if it's something that I need to add, then I'll do it. But if it's not a condition, it's not something I want to do every day. Like cardio, cardio could be something as a condition, because every morning, if you're prepping, you got to make sure you wake up every morning. You do that. Right now, even though I'm prepping, but I'm not at that stage yet. But that part is very important to condition it, because like I said, if when you wake up in the morning, if you look at your phone, first thing you start doing, right, you open your message, you start flipping, and the next thing you know, 5 minutes goes to 10 to 15 minutes, and that takes over your mind rather than you take control of it first, because that's why it's important to meditate. Whatever you do that's more comfortable, that keeps you away from this first. And that's why when I first started, I would go on my computer, and I was sitting in the office, or all the stuff distract me, and then I keep failing. I'm like, man, this just sucks. So I was like, let me just stay in bed and and it works that way. So whatever works for you, it's better. So that's you got to find out something that works for you.
Exactly.
But I do want to tell people, listen, first you want to thank God, and then talk to your unconscious mind, because your unconscious mind is not going to fail you.
Exactly.
And get used to communicate with that, because that's the part that you're not aware of, that's listening to you, to whenever you say or do anything stupid, it's listening to you. So that's your unconscious mind. So it's important for me to start my day every day that way.
Thank you. So I have a question. Like, it was a question someone asked me. Like, do you have to be a morning person to create a morning routine? And my answer was no. You don't have to be a morning person, right? It depends on whenever you wake up, right?
But that's true.
As a coach, not as myself. As myself, do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, do it. But as a coach, I would say that it's all about prioritizing. And morning, I believe, when we sleep, all momentum subsides, so everything stops, and when we wake up, it's a reset. My morning routine starts the night before, and that's one of the key elements that I actually suggest to my clients and to everyone, that you should, the morning routine starts with the moment you go to bed. Like, for example, if you're gonna do exercise the next morning, if you wanna, like, whatever, I list it. Like, I have personally, I will not share my morning routine. If I share my morning routine, everybody will like just run away, because it's like a job. It's like 2 hours, but I wake up at 4. Again, do you need to be able, do you have to wake up at 4? No, you don't. I enjoy it. I love my morning routine. And it's one thing that really saved me. And what you say, for years, I woke up and the first thing I said was like, oh my God, I hate this life. And then I started my day without any routine, whatever I was doing, but I hated it, and my life was horrible. And if I can do it, if I can get from horrible, I think I've never been any place lower than the place that I was when I started this. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. What I can say is that what you say, that you talk to your unconscious, what I did, I was reading a book couple months before that, and I was doing the stuff that he was talking about. So it worked for me. And there was one thing that he talked about, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he says, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. And at the moment, I didn't even believe in that. I didn't even believe in gratitude. And he said it himself too. You don't need to believe it. You have to just repeat it. You repeat it
until you believe it.
Till you believe it, right?
Right.
So and you don't have to do everything. It's not one cut fit all, but you have to start small. You have to start step by step. I started a year ago. I started with one thing. And the thing that it was a combination of the things that I was reading, right? Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. That was the only thing I was thinking of. And I had nothing. In my brain, I had lost everything. No money, no house, no job, nothing. And the thing is, I had a lot. But when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're broken, when any position that you are low, you don't see the high. You don't see what you have. You don't appreciate what you have, right?
Agree.
So I would just say, I would pick the only thing I had with me was my pillow. The only thing that I took out of everything was the pillow that I had with me. And I was in an Airbnb. So I would hold my pillow and I would say, the moment I woke up till I understand where I am and what I'm doing, what's going on, right? The moment I would just hug my pillow and I would say like, oh my God, I love my pillow. I love my pillow. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I love my pillow, right? And then after a while, I noticed after a week or so, I noticed that I feel so much better. So I added stuff. I love my bed, right? And I would stay in bed till for 5-6 minutes and everything cut, with no phone, no technology, nothing. And I would stay there and I would say so many, just like chanting, right? I love my bed. I love my bed. I love my pillow. I love it till I actually felt really good. And then I would get up and then I would start my meditation. And again, today, the thing that I started with one step today, my morning routine is exactly 1 hour, 30 minutes. I enjoy it and I add to it every day or every week I add to it. And then based on the day, I do different things too.
Yeah.
But
so no, that's really good. What you did was you change your focus.
Exactly.
It's the same topic.
And everything started from there. Everything started there.
Exactly. Things were not going well, and then you change. You take a little random things that meant nothing, a pillow, and you keep saying, "I love, I love, I love." That's the good way. Really, hopefully, people can learn from this. That's a really great way to change your focus. And you notice you just said that as you say it more often, you notice every little thing that meant that was something becomes nothing now.
Exactly.
And things start, falling into place. And then you go from I love my pillow to change your focus to I love my bed. You didn't need money. So wherever focus goes, energy flows. So that's why I said, all this is why I love these things, because it's the proof isn't putting
exactly
showing that. So everything happens at the unconscious level, really.
Exactly.
So by doing that, and wherever you do an hour, meditation, that's good. However you need, that's good. I don't do it for an hour. I just want to have a communication.
Don't meditate for an hour. Like my whole routine is exactly.
No, whole routine. Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing, it takes me at least 90 minutes, and I enjoy it. And there's things that we all do. We get up, we brush our teeth, we wash our face, we put this, we do this. These are the things that we do automatically. But I think I always tell people, pay attention. First of all, start with one thing and then pay attention with whatever you're doing. Every day when you wake up for the first week, pay attention. And then just be flexible. You cannot, there's no such thing as perfect morning routine. There's no such thing as perfect. Just be flexible. And you have to do it constantly. That's the key. You have to repeat it. And then one thing that you talked about was like your phone, right? Get away first. I personally, in the beginning, everything was disconnected. But today, now, every morning, the moment I wake up, when I say, I love my bed, I love this, thank you, God, for that, I have so many things to say. The first thing I do, I turn on my phone and I look at a picture of a girl. My brother's girl, he sent me a picture every day. There's a new picture every day. So I trained myself that I have to look at her because she gives me so much joy. So I look at her and I just put the phone away, right? Or we have to use the alarm. So in the beginning, yes, cut the technology because we get, but when you train your mind, you can use it. Or after that, for
Yeah.
example, I listen to music, I listen to books. Every morning I listen to 4 chapter of book, any book that I'm like listening, right? So we have to use it, but we have to be mindful about it, how we use that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. You know, and I think you said someone had a question. Wow, that's how I forgot what was the question. For me, I go to bed almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. No, do you have to be a morning, do you have to be a morning person to
Yeah, yeah.
have
No,
a
you don't
routine?
have
Yeah.
you don't have to be a morning person. Just get into the habit of talking to yourself, embrace yourself, and start trusting it. You know, when your conscious mind says, you know, I don't trust certain things. I'm not too. Better listen to it. It's trying to tell you something, and and I get into the habit to communicate right back into it. You know, and you know, for me alone, I just like I said, I do it in bed right before I wake up, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then if I have to do, you know, like all the regular stuff I do, cardio, whatever it is I gotta do. But just I'd love to say the unconscious mind and really allow it and be grateful of the fact that it's in charge of everything that I do. So and the reason why I do that also is because I am able to tap into any emotion that I'm looking to access. You know, if I'm looking to access power, then I do that. If I'm looking to access, because throughout the day, right, as the day goes by, there's shit that's gonna come at you that's gonna throw you off, and you're allowed to feel this emotion, these negative emotions. But how do you jump back from that for a split second in the moment and go back to you? You know, so that's why it's important to
It's basically
understand how the
setting the
unconscious mind.
speed of your day, right?
Yeah,
Is you're actually,
yeah,
that's
you
what you're
set it
saying. You
up.
want to set up how you set up your day, the speed of your day,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
For example,
because it gives me charge.
Saturday, for example, that's what's like Monday for me is different from
Right.
Saturday, right? So that's like totally different. That's why like my morning routine on Saturdays is totally different from the one I do Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday, right? Or Sunday,
Right.
there's another totally different because the days are different. So
Right.
I think that's what you're trying to actually say, because for us, we are technical, especially you are more technical. So
Right.
I just translated it to more normal language.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It's important. And so those of you guys who's listening, try to talk to it because it gives you. You don't know how your day is going to turn out, what problems are going to come to you. But if you got a chance to talk to your unconscious mind and allow it to take control, to take charge, whatever comes at you throughout the day, you'll be a lot better off than if you try to handle it from a conscious level. You know, because conscious, it's only 10%. It's very powerful as well, but the unconscious mind runs pretty much everything. Everything you need is in the unconscious mind. So that's very important to learn to communicate with that, to learn to be friend, to learn to trust it. You know, when it
Exactly.
stays that it's that little voice in your head that tells you, hey, listen, you
You
gotta
know,
do this.
one thing that really helped me is that I was reading an article about the mirrors. Actually, it was like totally different article about mirrors. Like when we look at the mirror, when we look ourselves in the mirror, we are never looking for ourselves. We're always looking for approval. We put on something, we're standing in front of a mirror, we are looking for approval. Everything is okay with us, right? And
Right.
but the whole point of an article is that like if you use the mirror for looking for yourself. So what I did, something happened to me and I was like, I felt totally different. And I could, it was just like half of me, the logical me was thinking I'm going crazy. And the other half of me, the all small voice in my head was like, no, this is right. This is you, go look for yourself. So I remember that. So one thing that really helped me when you want to talk to your unconscious, it's just try it out. Go stand up in front of a mirror and look for yourself. Look into your eyes. Look and see you. Don't look for approval. Don't look for like you're looking beautiful or you're looking. I do it every morning. Every morning, one of the part of my routine is that I go and I stand in front of a mirror when I brush my teeth, or when I'm done, and I look at myself and I see me. I see who am I. I see myself as me, as a 6-year-old girl. I see it. I see myself there. And what I do, it might sound stupid, but that helped me. That made me the person that I am today. So I ask myself, Miss Elahe, what can I do for you? What would make you happy today, right? And I do, you know, every morning. I love it. I wait and I look at her, and again, it's just like there's no separation now. We are one. But I can understand, you know, you get it, the unconscious, right? But that's the little girl that I look at and I ask myself, what makes you happy? Tell me, what do you want? And then I listen and I do exactly as she wants, which is me. So I do everything that makes me happy. That's one practice that really helped me. And I'm working with 2 other women that went through very, very abusive life. Right. And it does wonders, you know, because most of the things that we do, for example, I always judged women, strong women in abusive relationship. I did. And I always told myself, how can they do this to themselves? They can always leave. And I judge, and you do, most of us does till we get there. Till I was one of those people. And now the reason that I'm doing this is that because it's impossible that you put yourself in this tremendous abuse and keep yourself as a victim while you're not, you know? So why are the reasons, and all the reasons come to, again, the cracks in the foundation. When you were a kid, everything happens to you. 80% of your personality and stuff that goes, like, that makes you who you are, happens to you in your childhood. And we forget that's how you actually develop self-love, to see yourself. Go look for yourself, talk to yourself, find the time for yourself. And one other thing I wanted to ask you, because there was another question, is that what if I have kids and I cannot have a morning routine?
No, you always, you could find a way to do it, because like I said, for me, I know my weakness. As soon as I get up, I get distracted, you know? So right before so
like every boy.
I get distracted, you know, and I was like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I want to start my day. And that was before NLP. I would just get up and do my morning routine, would just get on the cardio right away, that helped.
Yeah.
But that's physical, you know, but mentally that's important, you know, because that's very, very important. That's you have to exercise your muscle mind. So if you have kids, you know, right before you get up, it doesn't have to be long. You know, it's a simple conversation to have with yourself. You know, it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Just starting is the key. You know, just take massive actions. You know, however you start, it doesn't matter. It takes a minute the first day, then after that, a couple weeks, couple days, extend it to 5 minutes.
Yeah, you don't have to be great to start. That's
it does. Just
Zig Ziglar said that you don't have to be great to start. You have to start to become great. So that's
You just gotta get up and do it. Just like if just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. You know what I mean? And how, like I said, how long does it take you to say thank you? Unconscious mind, I am grateful that you allow me to wake up and allow me to remember that I am me today. That only takes me about not even a minute to say that, right?
Exactly.
So, and then just say to yourself, you in charge of my day. Whatever's it's good for me, you show it to me. Whatever's not good for me, just reject that. Once you say those key words, it's like whenever a situation presents itself throughout your day, your unconscious, that little voice will talk to you. It's like, no, don't do that. You know, that's why I said to you, the unconscious mind, you know the difference between suggestions that are good for me and then those that are not. Only accept the suggestions that are good for me. So what that means is that you give it total control. So if you meet a stranger that's up to no good, your instinct is going to tell you, stay away from this dude. You know what I mean? So you just have to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So, but you're giving it a charge at such an from early of your, of your starting day. So it's like, okay, I got this. I got this. Like I said, people treat their unconscious mind worse than a dog. You tell a dog to do something.
Actually, themselves, the unconscious mind that you're talking about, the other that is inside of them, right?
Yeah. So if you tell it what to do, it'll do exactly that. I'm telling you. So I'm telling you, I used to do a lot of seminars, and the other times I would just get up and do a lot of nutrition seminars in groups and people. And sometimes I'm not up to it. I'm like tired and lazy. So I say, okay, I know I got to do something. I said, the unconscious mind, and that's not in the morning. I would do that throughout the day. I said, okay, listen, you take charge. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I know that you're gonna. And then I start talking, and things start coming out.
Exactly.
And then the feedback I get from the people that attended, it's amazing. They're like, "Whoa, you said some crazy stuff that was amazing."
That's your authentic you. Because when we
trust it.
Exactly, when you trust ourselves, when we're aligned, when we're told, when our brain and our heart are one. We trust ourselves and we are authentic. So, and people, we always say that you can lie to everyone else, but not yourself. That's not right. You cannot lie to anyone, but you can lie to yourself really, really good. So that's why when you're authentic, when you trust yourself and you talk from your inner being, right? Your unconscious, your inner being, everybody, there was this saying in Farsi that says, the words that comes from the heart sits in the hearts. If I'm gonna translate, that's exactly what it is. So always, and and that's the thing that starts in the morning. The most important thing in the morning, because again, you wake up, you're in this between this delta state and beta state, and you can actually access your unconscious mind, and you can learn to listen to yourself. And to one other question that someone asked me, like, if there's like 3 things I can do, give me 3 things that I can do. Again, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I never do. I'm a provocative coach. This guy is a directive coach. I'm provocative, but I can give you 3 keys to start with. Be honest with yourself. Always be honest with yourself. It's about you. It's not about your kid. It's not about your husband. It's not about your wife. It's about you. And then look at your day honesty. I know, even I don't have a kid, but I understand when you have kids, when you have husband, when you have this and you have that. But remember this, heart takes the best blood in the body, because if it doesn't, we're dead. So if you're a mother, you are the heart of the family. So if you don't take care of yourself, no one will, and everything around you will crumble. So be honest, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your day and look at your day, and take a pen and paper, no matter how much, it's wrong. It says knowledge is power. Bullshit. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is the potential of power. Power is the ability to act. So you have, if you want power, take ability to act, list down everything that you want, and then prioritize, take 3 things. Take 3 things. Say, okay, in the morning, I get up, 5 minutes in bed, I thank God, I meditate, I do whatever. I get up while I'm doing this, I'm brushing my teeth. For example, do I want my workout gear, for example, be ready, do it the night before. And again, focus on one thing at a time and do it over and over and over and over again. And because it's a routine. If you don't do it over again, that's like you won't have any morning routine. That's
true. Yeah, exactly. So, I agree with everything you said. And a couple of things I want to tell people that they should be aware of. The unconscious mind takes everything very personal. So, perception versus projection. So, when somebody's talking about you, saying you this, you that, you're a horrible person, remember that person is referring to themselves, not to you.
Exactly.
So don't take it personal. Okay, so that's why I said it's important to talk to your unconscious mind because it's going to prevent all that, you know. And then another thing, for example, I don't know how many people are in the chat room. If I were to ask a question, I ask you a question, for instance, don't think of a blue tree. Right?
I will.
What exactly? What exactly is in your mind right now? You're thinking of a blue tree.
I will go paint one after this.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you, the unconscious mind doesn't process negative very well.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of bullshit you got to stop saying to yourself. You know what I mean? You got to, you know, be careful what you say to yourself, because it's very sensitive. It takes everything personal. You know, so these are the two things that, you know, I think I want to leave you guys with, because it's important to trust your unconscious mind, love it, because it's in charge of pretty much everything that you do. Exactly. You know, remember, conscience is something that you learn for the first time, and then you get into a habit of doing it, like meditation, like I talking to my conscious mind. It was conscious first. I am aware that I wanted to do that. And then I put it into my conscious mind. So every time I do it, I don't have to ask questions anymore. I just do it without thinking. Just like driving places, right? You know, to driving to work every day, you don't have to think about it no more. You just go there. You don't need Google Maps, because you did it the first time. You learn it. You learn how to get there. Conscious. So that's why conscious is important. It's a way to take all the new information and put it in the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind runs the entire body, 90% of it. So it's important to learn to communicate with it and trust it, have fun with it. And really, when that little voice says you do something, you better listen.
Exactly. You
listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, the more, you know, the more you listen to it, the more you develop this communication between you and your inner you. And the more you listen, the more you see the result, the more you trust. And it comes to the point, again, I was personally one of those people that my inner being started with whisper, and I wouldn't listen, and I wouldn't listen, and I wouldn't listen, and I wouldn't listen until it was like screaming at me, and I still wouldn't listen. And something horrible had to happen for me to and, you know, again, it was one of the horrible thing, and it will remain one of the horrible thing that happened. But again, it will happen to you if you don't listen. You know, you will, instead of learning an insight, that's what I always tell people, don't wait till you have to learn through pain. Yeah.
And by the way, yeah, no, I agree. And by the way, every work that we've done as coaches are at the unconscious level. Every topic that we've discussed, like perfectionism, we remember these things are at the unconscious. So we need to go tapping into the unconscious level to do all the work. So to change, if I'm looking to change someone, if the person's ready to change, that work has been done at the unconscious level.
Exactly.
Everything, you know, so it's very important to understand, to be grateful that your unconscious mind has so much power. And if you just take the time to just, you know, learn how to tap into those emotional states, you'll be powerful. You'll get anything you've ever done.
Exactly. Where can they find you? Like, because I want the people who watch this, how can they find you? Like, where is through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? I will tag you here, but I will share this video all over. So I want people to know where they can find us. Now you.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't stay on the social. I'm getting used to with social media, so they can find me at social media Performance Coach Dickens, or to my website nlpstrategiccoaching.com, or my YouTube channels, which I don't know what it is, but you can. I don't know what it is, but you can find me on Facebook as well.
No, I will add your YouTube channel when I post this video on my own YouTube channel. So I will add it to the link there. And yeah, because again, I know personally that I'm not for everyone, and I keep saying it. I know I'm not for everyone. We are not. Not everyone is for everyone, right? So if my method doesn't work, doesn't seem, you can help, or I bring other coaches too. And for me, every Thursday for the next 90 days, I give 4 sessions free, 4 101 coaching session for 60 minutes. So, and I put it also there. You can schedule or just leave your email. I get back to you. It was amazing. Next topic next week was
Yeah, well,
The
actually,
topic for next week.
we could talk about decision making. I think that's a really
Yes,
good topic.
that was the
Decision making,
topic. Yes.
and that's also operated at the unconscious level. So, those of you guys who don't understand how decision making works.
I love the relationship you have with your unconscious. It's exactly like the one that I have with my inner being, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Two different styles, but I love it. It's always so much fun. It's always so much fun. Hi, Mar.
Yes.
Have